Hold up, wait, you can never take my place, nigga. Hold up, wait, I'm just tryna get my bread, nigga. Hold up, wait, running in my own damn lane, nigga. Hold up, wait, running in my own damn pace, nigga.
What up YouTube, it's your boy Rizil back on the channel with another one, and today we're going to be watching some Dr. Phil. I found something very interesting. I haven't reacted to it yet. It's short, but I think it's enough for us to get the gist of it. Don't have many hours in the day, so we're just going to get right to it. This one is titled, She's a Descendant of a Slave and a Slave Owner. Seems to be a young lady from the thumbnail that I've seen and the picture I'm currently seeing now before I play it, of mixed race descent. So we're just gonna see what happened over here and what the story is all about. Yeah.
Now, you told producers that you were only 4 when you learned that you were a descendant of both slave and slave owners.
That is correct.
Now, as you grew up, how did this affect you? What did you think about?
Well, for one, I'm very light-skinned as a Black person, and we're very different complected in my family. And I always wondered about it. And growing up, I would go to school and people would wonder what my race was and where I came from. So I think at a very young age, I was curious. And since my parents knew so much about our family history and they wanted me to know the truth, they told me right away, you are the offspring of this woman, here is her picture, and this man, and they told me everything.
So there was a slave owner and a slave, but apparently this was a relationship that wasn't totally toxic because, as you say, this reparation was made voluntarily, right?
Yes. I believe that my second great-grandmother, Florence, did have some sort of positive relationship with her father because, when she asked for help, he would give it to her.
And this has made a big difference in your family, as you pointed out, and sustained your family across generations, right?
Absolutely. Generations of farming. My ancestors right out of slavery could read and write, and I think that's why I know so much about my family history. We have autobiographies. I think wealth comes in many forms. It comes in education. It comes in just our family being together still after all of these years. It comes in knowing your history, which a lot of Black people in this country do not.
Do you ever have mixed feelings about owning your land in Mississippi?
I don't necessarily think I have mixed feelings, but I do know that it is a privilege, and most Black people in this country did not get that privilege. And I'm a firm believer that when you have privileges, you should use them to help others. So traditionally, this land in my family has always been land that has helped the community, and now that I have kind of taken over everything, I will do the same.
One of the questions that I hear and that I read about is that there is no one alive today that was a slave owner. There is no one alive today that was enslaved. So how does that translate back to 150 plus years ago?
Well, I don't think reparations is only a conversation about slavery. I think reparations need to be paid for Reconstruction, the Jim Crow era, police brutality over the years. My mother went to jail 7 times during the Civil Rights Movement. She was put in solitary confinement as a 15-year-old little girl. Doesn't she get something for that? Because that wasn't fair. So I think, yes, we have years of reparations. That was just the start. There's more.
Okay, so for you, this isn't just about slavery.
No.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link.
I wish that thing was longer because it seems that they were having a whole conversation. I'm going to do a part 2 to this. And I'm going to try and find the full thing, but like the was it the previous reaction video before this, the Steve Wilco one, where I said like some of these videos, like you can't find the full episode, you know, you get pieces here and there. But I'm gonna genuinely try to find it. But I have two things, and I hope I don't jumble myself up, because sometimes I talk to the point where I jumble myself up with all the ideas and thoughts I have inside my head. But one, I wonder how white people, if you're hearing this, I wonder how they feel, or how you would feel if you were in that position as a slave owner, and you put yourself in your ancestors' shoes, right? And then you're in this position as a slave owner where a slave is pregnant with your child due to I don't know, some urges you had, and you went into her, and then she became pregnant with your child. But the slave in that time is considered less than human. You know, it's not just a thing of like, it's not like a thing of like, we went to battle, I beat you, and now you have to do what I say. But that doesn't mean like what you call you're less than human. This one was definitely, we didn't just like attain victory over you, but you're less than human. We don't even think you're evolved, etc., etc. And then she has your child. Like, how would you treat that child? Like, you know, it would be a conflict of interest in terms of everything your society has taught you or how you feel. It's a thought that's come into my head in terms of that. That's even a question for you. I'm not gonna finish that thought, but that's a question for you. Like, how would you feel? Would you change your ideas? And then, but I'm saying, don't put yourself in like your own shoes. Put yourself in like your ancestors' shoes. I mean, and think about like you've been like brainwashed and taught this thing all your life. Like, what steps would you take to change that thought process? And two, in terms of reparations, listen, I was I'm gonna say privileged and lucky enough to have grown up in South Africa, even though I am Kenyan. And they have the same issues, right around the same issues that America has, especially in terms of race. And South Africa's form of reparations came in the form of the BEE system. The BEE system was used to put people of color, especially black people, at the top of the list of opportunities, and like job opportunities, business opportunities, economic opportunities above every other race, in order to help them gain back the advantage they lost, basically. So a lot of people, when they talk about reparations, I notice in America, they talk about money. A lot of it is money and certain financial advantages. And honestly, from the country I've been raised up in, I think it should come in not necessarily in that form, because I think the advantage to the system South Africa put in place was the fact that it's within Africa, and the countries are predominantly African. This is our home. Whether anyone likes it or not, this is our home. We are number people, so you're going to do what we say. But in terms of reparations, I think it was easier for them because this is our home, as opposed to in the states where black people are genuinely outnumbered by especially white people, that it's going to be harder to put in a system like that in place. But there can be systems put in place to help people or black people regain the time they lost, because I don't think it's about the money. You know, people become so obsessed with money because of all the luxuries they see people attain and have, and they feel some sort of way. I know as a human, I feel some sort of way in like even the position I'm in, no matter how blessed I am, thank God. But it's not about the money. I think it's about the time. I think even though right around that time, white people like that advanced compared to black people in terms of their like the technology in their society. Like my base level knowledge on this is, yeah, white people are a little bit uh, ahead of us. However, um, them doing what they did in terms of slavery, and not just them, even the powers that be from even the Middle East and different corners of the world who participated in slavery, didn't help the situation by taking even more time from a people that um, could have gained certain advantages from being left the fuck alone in order to have their society or civilization evolve into something for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, I think what black people need is not money but time. And that's a lot of shit that we don't have. We need some, and like, it's not like you can give us time like white people or whatever have control over life and death. But there can be some systems put in place to shorten the time in which it takes black people, especially from the position that we're in, to get from point A to point B, just because of the hand your people played in the time that we lost. You know what I'm saying? You know, no one's trying to take money out of your bank account. Oh, from my idea, no one should be trying to take money out of your bank account. It is what it is. But yeah, that's where black people are lacking. It's the time lost, you know? And that's what I saw in South Africa. That is what I saw in South Africa, what they attempted to do. That advantage they gave the black people, African people, it really helped them along in terms of the time that they lost during the apartheid era, where in their own land they were being told what to do and how to be and where to go and like what advantages to attain, you know. They were held back, and now they've been pushed forward to the extent where people are like, I've seen some complaints here and there, I went to this job and first they have to prioritize the black people before anyone. If they can't find a black person, then maybe me as an Indian or a white person. I think white people are at the bottom of the list in terms of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, and there's a reason for that. But yeah, other races, they are sort of second to black people in terms of that system, just to help what they lost. You know, it's like a reverse thing, you know. Black people are at the bottom, and then flip the board, now they're at the top, and that's to help you regain your time. So that's my opinion on that. Like, comment, subscribe. Please give your opinions, because this is a very interesting topic. And have a good day. Welcome to my channel.
We don't wanna play no games, nigga.
All-star, rock star, porn stars, force cars, God raw. Ball up, all arms, forearms, call up, God up. Shotgun, cop some, cop none, rob some, get some. Rock up, pop up, act up, man down, red stuff. Short top, heart throb, dick throb, pull up, top off.